Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? The window has now closed for free agent signings that would count against your compensatory draft or your draft pick compensation. If you're not familiar, when you lose free agents, I'm going to way oversimplify this. When you lose free agents in the NFL and don't sign an equivalent amount or value, the NFL compensates you with draft picks. That's how you get the compensatory draft pick formula. The NFL does not disclose the exact formula. The person who seems to be closest in predicting it annually is Nick Court from Over the Cap. He's been a guest on the show in the past. He does a great job of projecting. I think he has gotten closest to figuring out the NFL's compensatory pick formula to figure out what it's going to be. So Nick Court, Lance Zierlein of NFL.com are now making their projections of what each team is going to receive in draft compensation. So if you're scoring at home, remember, the Saints lost David Onyemata, Marcus Davenport, Shai Tuttle, Kentavious Street, Caden Ellis, Justin Evans, Ethan Greenidge, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Hardy, Andy Dalton. So the Saints lost a bunch to free agency, and they only signed Nathan Shepard, Colin Saunders, and Jamal Williams. So the Saints are going to be compensated for their free agent losses. And you're capped at 4 compensatory picks, so you can't receive more than 4. As of right now, again, according to Nick Court from Over the Cap, the Saints are going to receive a 4th-round pick for Marcus Davenport, a 4th-round pick for David Onyemata, and a 6th-round compensatory pick for Caden Ellis. So it looks like the Saints are going to receive 3 compensatory picks. I want to remind you, the Saints have already traded several of their picks for next year. Part of the Sean Payton deal, they sent a 3rd-rounder to Denver, so the Saints do not have a 3rd-rounder next year. They spent a 4th-rounder in a deal with Jacksonville to move up in this most recent draft. And remember when they traded in 2021 for Mark Ingram to get him from Houston, they traded their 7th-rounder for this upcoming draft. So they don't have that 7th-round pick because of the Mark Ingram deal 2 years ago. Anyway, to boil it all down, the Saints will have their 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick from Denver with the Sean Payton deal, 2 4s, the compensatory picks for Davenport, Onyemata, a 5, and then 3 6s. They'll have their 6th, a 6th from Philadelphia as part of the trade last year, and then a 6 for Caden Ellis. So a 1, a 2, 2 4s, a 5, and 3 6s. The Saints will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 draft picks again in next year's draft. So the most obvious thing to look at here with that much compensation, keeping in mind, remember what Mickey Loomis said. Remember what Mickey Loomis said just a few weeks ago before the draft, their philosophy about trading up or trading back.
When you have a conviction, if you love somebody and you go get them, that's the preferred policy, I guess, that I like. Find somebody you love and go get them. And if you think you can get them where you're at, then you stay where you're at. I just feel like the philosophy of trading back means that if you really believe in your board and you believe how it's going to fall, is that you're moving back to get a lesser player. That's just kind of the premise that we have. It's not to say that we wouldn't move back, but that's the philosophy here.
They of course they move back. Of course they wouldn't move back. They've never moved back, so they're not going to move back. The question obviously becomes, with this type of draft capital, where you have a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick that you got from Denver, 2 4s, a 5, and 3 6s, and then future draft compensation as well, is next year the year where the Saints might be interested in trading up to take a quarterback in a year in which everybody is going to want Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix, and who knows who else may emerge in time. Next year's draft looks like a bumper crop of quarterbacks in the draft. So if you're a quarterback-needy team, next year might be the year to go get him. what would it take for the Saints to go up? I'll remind you that Tampa Bay, who was 8-9 this past year, but won the division, Tampa Bay picked 19th in the draft. So I asked Muse to take a look at recent draft trades and what it would take to go from, let's say, upper teens, into, say, the top 5 to get one of the best picks in the draft. So, Muse, all right, I'm curious what you found. And I didn't want to know, so I'm going to learn this off the cuff. Muse did the research. He's going to present it, and we'll decide if this would feel like deals worth doing. And I love the primetime music.
Isn't it so good? God, it's so good.
I like playing the mouth horn.
It's a good mouth horn.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so there's a couple different scenarios I found that are similar.
You crushed my aha. You stepped all over my aha.
Want to do it again?
No.
Okay.
You killed the vibe is what you just did.
Let's start with the...
Got it in.
Okay. I thought you were gonna crush me for stepping on it again. So the Rams have done this a couple different times in scenarios that would match what the Saints might do. Obviously, the most notable is 2016 when they went from number 15 to number 1 to get Jared Goff.
They went from 15
From number
to 1.
15 to 1. That took 6 picks.
All right, 6 picks. Wait, hang on right now. All right, go ahead. What did they give?
They pick swapped and gave up number 15, 2 2s, 1 3, and then 2017's 1 and 3. So all in total, 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s. That was to go from 15 to 1 for Jared Goff.
Now, it didn't work, obviously.
They got a Super Bowl. Well, they went to a Super Bowl.
They went to a Super Bowl, but they ended up trading.
They ended up trading.
Now, the trade that worked, obviously, was trading Goff to Detroit for Stafford to ultimately get him over the hump. Okay, what else you got?
In 2013, so 3 years before that, the Rams went from number 16.
Rams did it twice.
They went from number 16 up to number 8.
Okay.
That took 4 picks, all in the 2013 draft. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a 7.
Oh, I would do that in a heartbeat.
And you could find a quarterback at 8.
Oh, well, you know what?
Potentially.
To go up 8 spots, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 7. Huh? Who did they get? Who was that?
Did not write that down. I can find it real quick for you, though, because I can go back to the website I was at.
2013 draft?
Yeah, 2013 draft.
Oh, man. All right.
I know. I went through so many drafts. I cannot remember everybody who I saw. Okay, this one.
I think that's right. This says they took Tavon Austin in round 1. So they did take. So this wasn't to get a quarterback.
No. This was just moving up from the mid-teens.
Okay, I was asking for quarterbacks. But
Quarterbacks only? You want quarterbacks only?
They went up to get Tavon Austin.
Yeah. How about that?
That's why I couldn't remember. I'm like, they went to get a quarterback. Okay, go ahead.
This one is a quarterback. In 2009, the Jets traded for Mark Sanchez.
Oh, this is Sanchez, yeah.
The Sanchez. They went from 17 to 5.
Okay, so this would be really comparable.
Really comparable.
Okay.
Now, they included players in this, though. 3 players and 2 picks. Kenyon Coleman, Brett Ratcliffe, Abram Elam, 09's 1 and 09's 2. So 3 players, a 1 and a 2 to go from 17 to 5, and that's when they drafted Mark Sanchez.
Here's the problem. The Saints don't have...
They don't have the players.
They don't have the players to do something like that.
And then...
But 17 to 5 feels very, very doable if the right player is there, and maybe in this upcoming draft.
There's 2 more.
Okay, all right.
You mentioned the Buccaneers winning the division at 8-9, picking 19.
Quick reset for those just joining us. Again, we're running through potential draft scenarios where teams have gone from mid-upper teens into, say, the top 5, which the Saints, now with these compensatory picks, would likely have enough draft capital to do. Okay, go ahead.
So you mentioned the Buccaneers there. They were 8-9, won the division, picked 19th. We're going to go back a little bit here. In 1990, the Colts picked 20th. But they moved up from 20 to number 1. They drafted Jeff George. It was terrible.
This was Jeff George.
Yes.
The Jeff George trade.
2 players, 2 picks. All-pro guard in Chris Hinton and a wide receiver in Andre Rison.
Andre Rison, yeah.
A 5 in next year's 1. Again, we mentioned the players the Saints don't have, but I thought that was comparable because of the Buccaneers going from 20 up to number 1. 1990, it's a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time ago. This one, but it's one of the most recent. The Niners, when they went from 12 to number 3 for Trey Lance.
For Lance, okay.
They gave up 3 ones. 3 ones to the Dolphins and a 3. So 4 picks to go from 12 to 3.
3 ones, huh?
The interesting part about this, the Dolphins never picked on those ones. One of them was traded in was Micah Parsons, the Cowboys.
Okay.
They traded the other one, and then the most recent one was the 30th pick in this year's draft, which, of course, they vacated. They traded 3. They traded 3 ones, bro. 3 ones and never picked.
Oh,
they never picked one of them.
Wow. Well, what did the Micah Parsons pick become?
That was number 12.
No, I get it, but what did that become for them? They traded that for something. What did they get with the assets from Dallas?
I think they...
That's... Wow. What a find.
Yeah, I found that, and I was like, I have to mention that at some point.
Oh, man. Miami. What is you doing? Oh, no. Well, that explains how you end up in 2 decades of misery.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It's... Oh, here it is. Well, what
3
we were looking
ones,
at,
and they didn't even get a quarterback.
That was, I said, 2021. Here, I can figure out where they picked, though, in the draft. So they ended up at 6. They did pick the first round in 2021 at number 6. And they got Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean...
Man, it just goes to show you the draft is such a crapshoot. And I know that everybody's going to push back on me and say, well, you're the one who wants him to trade up and take a quarterback. Yes, I do. Because I trust the Saints' ability to scout, and I know you're not winning without a quarterback. So give me a quarterback. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.